How's it going, everyone? It's Chance here, or Storm Knight, and today we're going to do a reaction video to Actman TV. I'll put his channel in the description below, and the title of his video is "Why Aren't People Buying Games Anymore?" I think it's a very interesting concept because I feel like a lot of friends, including me, are very hesitant to buy games, and I have my own opinions, but I just want to see what his opinions are and how I can relate to them. If you guys want more reaction comment, please put in the comment below that you want more content like this, where I'll just talk to you like a normal person. I'm not a famous YouTuber or a content creator by all means, so economically wise, like, I understand people better, in my opinion, compared to I'm not saying these people are out of touch, but say someone like PewDiePie. I don't think he's really any economic struggle from perspective, but we're getting sidetracked. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here, and today a tragedy has occurred. Gamers have simply run out of money. There's no more games to buy.
I agree.
The cost of living is too damn high. It is quite shocking, to say the least, this article and this report that I just happened across. And I feel like it ties into a lot of what we've been covering on their channel recently, specifically with like Xbox and how they've been fucking up their...
Xbox has been doing terrible lately, raising prices of their consoles and games because of the tariffs, and which, in my opinion, that gave them the excuse to raise the prices. I think they were going to do it regardless, but when President Trump did that, it kind of, their stockholders gave them the green light.
Their entire brand and raising the prices on absolutely everything. I feel like it's all part of a grand scheme. I don't have a tinfoil hat, but this Seahawks hat is close enough. Right? My theory is Microsoft is the big pusher behind this, but what they've been trying to do for years, ever since the Xbox One was revealed, maybe even further back, is they want to turn video games and this hobby into something like Hollywood. Like,
I agree with that. Xbox 360, I feel like was the last great console Xbox did, because I had the original Xbox and the 360. When I had the Xbox One, it just felt really off. I didn't really feel that Xbox vibe at all. Xbox One was like my last console for Microsoft before I switched over to PC. I only have a PlayStation because of their exclusives, you know, and I think that's the reason why they did their Game Pass as well, is because they want to make it like Hollywood or any other subscription services like Netflix, just to farm even more money out.
Streaming services. Why buy DVDs and own that thing permanently when you could just sign up for a subscription service? And although it's nice to be able to get all this different content, at the end of the day, you stop paying for that service, you don't get that content. So
I feel like, though, like, even if you buy the CD, it doesn't matter. So many games cancel all their services. The Crew is a great example. You can have the CD, but they don't care. They're gonna shut you down and because the game is internet required, even when some games are single player only. So is there a big advantage of owning CDs now, with the exception when I feel like inevitable when the game completely gets shut down, the mod community takes over before the company DMCA strikes them or sends them a cease and desist letter from their lawyers. In 2025, as a gamer, I don't feel having a physical copy has advantages anymore, because they just take it away anyways in other ways.
long story short, I feel like Microsoft has been the big ones pushing this in the video game industry, where it's trying to get people to not own video games, to make that as unappealing as possible. Why buy games on Xbox when we make the console as unappealing as possible? In any case, that's my crackpot theory that
I mean, I feel the same way.
Greater conspiracy to price us out of our hobby, which is just so fantastic. Alongside, you know, many people not being able to afford basic necessities, how about not even basic hobbies? Times are great. I got a couple articles I want to read and go over, and let's just talk about that today. This comes from Vice. U.S. gamers aren't buying video games anymore. New study reveals.
I wonder if Vice is a reputable enough news outlet to represent why gamers are not even buying in the first place. I feel like it's just follow the money, man. Just follow the money.
You guys really let me down. But you don't have money? Why would you stop consuming? What on earth could... how could you? A study revealed that a majority of video game sales are fueled by only 4% of players. In 2025, 63% of U.S. consumers are buying fewer games.
Yeah, the fucking $80. Minimum wage is still what? It's fucking $7.50. It's fucking impossible to keep up. If you have to buy a game in 2025, you have to make sure it is an investment. It's a relationship. You have to marry this game. And even when you buy the game, there's microtransactions that cost $20 for a fucking skin.
Is this a result of what's going on with the economy? Or is this just something that the industry has been pushing towards for a long time?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. I feel like Fortnite really changed the aspect of gaming with their free-to-play aspect. I feel like a lot of games before Fortnite didn't really do the free-to-play. And Fortnite, selling cosmetics-wise, has been very successful. And all of the games want to replicate that success, including Black Ops, which is why you see them selling Stan and Roger from freaking American Dad. You will see it on every single game unless they're not a AAA studio. You know what I mean?
Well, if we think about Stop Killing Games, what was that all about? It was all about game ownership. You pay for this thing, you own it. Even going so far back, this might be a long shot reference, but don't copy that floppy. Roll the clips, please.
I was not gaming with floppy disk. I had CDs, so I had like the don't pirate CDs and movie ads, but not floppy disk. Sorry, Act-Man. That's I'm 26. I'm not sure how old you are, but that's definitely not my time. Can't relate to that one.
Did you right? Did I hear you saying that you're gonna make a copy of a game without paying? Don't copy that floppy. So let me break this down for you.
They don't. What's the
That's supposed to be relatable?
Model? The one that you keep having to pay for. A new study has revealed that most U.S. gamers are no longer buying video games. I, by the way, am part of the 4%. I mean, this is my job, so. The surprising research revealed that the majority of game sales are supported by small groups of hardcore hobbyists. Couldn't be me.
Hardcore hobbyists? I want to say people like buying games are hard. You have to be a hardcore hobbyist. It's impossible. You gotta buy, if you want to play the newest games with more than 30 frames, you gotta spend close to $600 on a console to do that, or close to $1,000 on a pre-built or build your own, which a lot of people don't know how to do build your own. So yeah, they go buy the pre-built.
Could not be me. I'm not in that demographic. If you're watching this, there's probably a good chance you are too, to be honest. 63% of US gamers buy 2 games or fewer per year. This is what made Game Pass so appealing. You can see kind of why that business model was so successful for a time, and why they're now jacking the prices up on that and on the cost of games. You're not allowed to have fun anymore. Diarrhea forever. You can't even afford your basic hobbies anymore. That is kind of a surprising statistic.
I think like the main reason why I buy a few games, I definitely buy like 2 or 3 a year max. Compared to my friend's library, mine's very minimum. Is because I know the game's gonna, when I buy the game's gonna ask me for more money anyways. So I at least when I have fun while playing the game, and buying new games just for it to flop a month later is so common nowadays. It's very common. Luckily on Steam, you can get your money back easily, but that takes, Steam is very easy to get your refund, but that still takes time. That still takes effort. So you really have to, my friends really have to appeal to me like it's a lawyer case. They have to like hound me to buy a new game all the time. I've been playing the same like 5 games on rotate well over 5 to 10 years.
I mean, what could that indicate? Problems with the economy or problems in taste? Could it be that most gamers have already found the thing that they're going to invest all this time into?
Yes, and as we gotten older, we have less time to try more games. We're not Actman. We can't do this for a living. I'm doing this as a hobby in hopes I could do this for a living. When I was in the Navy, I would do, I would do my EMT shifts on the base. I have to do 24 hours at a base, and I wouldn't get the next day off. I would have to go the next day to work for 8 hours, and then I only get 8 hours off. You think I'm going to want to try new shit after that long day? No. I'm going to go back to what I know, my comfort zone. I don't want to leave my comfort zone.
I don't know. I got buddies that play Tarkov and
I play Tarkov,
and they justify continuing to play that because of the money that they've put into it.
I put a lot of money in Tarkov.
Gaming habits in the U.S. are drastically shifting. The results were revealed by prolific games industry expert Matt Piscatella. Yeah, let's pull up the graph. Approximately a third of video game players purchase a new video game less often than once per year, while about 36% purchase a new game once a quarter, or with higher frequency. Now, when they say new game, are they talking about games that just released? Or that's probably what it is, because I mean, Steam sales. You pick up some old games for like $3, $5,
and you never click. You can buy these new games on Steam sale all the time. I feel like everyone has been a victim of this, at least on Steam. Excuse me. You buy a new game and you never click launch. I bought Cyberpunk and I still haven't clicked launch, and I have that game for over a year.
You mute your phone when you record a video. I mean, it does seem fairly vague, though. How often do you typically purchase a new game? But this could also be a demographic of people who like don't even watch my videos. You know what I mean? Like, if you're watching all my videos, you're probably that 4% or higher. The senior director explained that only 30% of US-based gamers purchased 1 or 2 games per year. However, the even more surprising statistic is that 33% of gamers in the US don't buy any new games at all over a typical 12-month period. So is this like geographical? Are Americans just getting so butt fucked by like wages and corporate greed and all this stuff that we're...
No, when I was in the Navy, I made friends in Korea and Japan, and they are the exact same way. They don't buy new games. In Korea, you would see them go into a gaming cafe. I forget the name of it, and I'll see them play League of Legends, dude. Or Valorant. Those are the 2 main games I saw my Korean friends do. And in Japan, it was the same instance, Valorant and League of Legends. They don't want to buy new games.
We're like, well, back to the farms. Yep, gotta plow the fields, make enough money to feed my family. It's unclear
he
if
wants
this
to
is
do
being
that,
impacted
right?
by subscription services or the continued popularity of free-to-play games such as Roblox and Fortnite. By the way, don't play Roblox unless you want to get molested for some reason.
I feel like I don't need to explain too much. Roblox is under a lot of fire for child predators. So if you're watching this as an adult, keep your children away from that game.
I don't need to elaborate. Microtransactions in live service games, for example, aren't typically counted as game sales. So kind of like what I said, people that buy a game then invest into it. Well, if you know you enjoy something, are you really going to take the risk buying a game that you may not enjoy, or maybe you want to return it? Or are you just gonna do the safe bet and buy some old games on Steam for massive discounts, or rely on subscription services, or just play through the games you already have? Matt went on to explain that most game sales in the industry are being fueled by hyper enthusiasts. Couldn't be me. But on the other hand, there is a bright light. The Nintendo Switch 2 boosts console sales to record highs.
So don't get me started with Nintendo. I'm not a Nintendo guy, but I never touched the consoles besides the Wii for Wii Sports and Wii Resort. That company aggravates me. You have the most hardcore dedicated fan base, and you can't have access to their very old games that are like 15, 20 years plus. And when they do mods, or I forget what they call it, but they found ways to play it. Nintendo sends cease and desist and they have to stop. So they use these techniques and release a new console, trying to fuel your nostalgia just to farm more money out. I feel like they're so successful because gamers have no other way to play it. So it's impossible to make it accessible unless you buy the $500 console.
That don't make a whole lot of sense. If a brand new console is selling like hotcakes, but people aren't buying games for it? What's the correlation? While the above statistics may seem a bit depressing, Circana also revealed that gaming hardware sales are booming. Not for Xbox. But you know what? I want you guys to tell me in the comments down below. How many games do you buy a year? New games.
In 2025, I bought Battlefield 6, and I'm going to buy Ark Raiders. Those are the only two I can see on top of my head that new games that I bought. Microtransaction wise, it's been World of Tanks and War Thunder. So, and before that, it was Escape from Tarkov.
Let's conduct our own little poll on this channel. I want to see what the results are. Hardware, year-to-date video game hardware spending has grown 20% versus a year ago, reaching $2.9 billion. Nintendo is already outpacing the sales records of the first Nintendo Switch. According to Matt, the Switch 2 is actually outperforming the previous generation by as much as 77%. So Nintendo...
Editing Chance, put the year when that Switch came out. I know it's been a long time. That's why they're doing record numbers.
Side note, Nintendo is sitting very pretty. Why is it that American companies are fucking up with their consoles, but if the Japanese ones are just flying off the shelves? What could it have to do with our culture over here? That's what I wonder sometimes. But I guess, like, if this is an indication that people are really watching their budgets, then from a, like, marketing standpoint, isn't it the worst fucking time to be raising prices on everything? The answer is yes.
Yeah, I hate it, man.
But I'm not an economist. This is actually impressive when you consider that the Nintendo Switch retails for $499. This is a staggering 66.9 nice percent price increase over the original Switch. So although US consumers are buying fewer games per year, the industry continues to thrive on console sales. Just makes you wonder, Xbox, what could it be? What could it be? Maybe it's a good console. However, the main takeaway from this study seems to be that
I don't have the console, but it's probably a good console, but it's also because of their predatory practices that they do to incentivize people to buy their consoles.
That the games industry is still largely being funded by hardcore gaming enthusiasts.
I don't think it's
As
hardcore.
are most hobbies, I would imagine, are fueled by the hardcore enthusiasts. I mean, I have spent a lot on Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Star Wars Unlimited cards. Let's just say that. Now, this also ties into an article from IGN. Back in July, younger Americans have spent 25% less on video games this year than last.
Because we're being
Those
fucked.
numbers up, man. Those are rookie numbers. That's according to a report by the Wall Street Journal, which used data from the market research company Circana to analyze the spending habits of young Americans. Okay, so just like this new article did, this one also referenced the same studies. While spending was down 13% across the board from January to April for 18 to 24-year-olds, particularly on accessories, technology, and furniture, which fell by 18%, 14%, and 12%, respectively. Video game spending saw the largest fall. This is not...
I feel like my cam is at a very bad place, so I apologize. Let me move that up. Or actually, move it down. Will moving it down be better? Let me in the comments below. Which one's better, up or down?
A trend observed in older age groups. I guess I'm old. What is this an indication of?
Makes two
It
of
sounds
us.
like Gen Z is getting fucked. If you are a Gen Z audience member and viewer, tell me again in the comments, do you have a lot of disposable income? Like,
No.
how much are you paying? Like, how many games do you buy a year? And what are your reasons for that? I've got to stay in tune. I've got to stay connected with the youth of today. Otherwise, I'm gonna grow old.
The reason is because we don't got that money, man. We got less money and less time. Mom and dad ain't buying those $20 to $40 games, and you can't. And with very less, capabilities of owning physical copies. You can't do the bullshit trade-in with GameStop where they give you $10 for 50 games and you spend 20 out of pocket to get the new one. It's just not happening anymore. There's a lot less studios making games as well. It's only AAA. These indie studios have been popping off lately, but years ago, I didn't really imagine too many indie studios, coming off, with popping games. But for me mentally, we can't afford a lot of games, and my friends can't afford a lot of games, so we stick with games that we already own years ago.
Everybody will call me the Unk Man. The Wall Street Journal posits that a combination of economic challenges is driving the decline, with graduates struggling to find employment and credit card delinquency rates highest for 18 to 29-year-olds. Okay, so bad economy, plus harder to get jobs, plus student loan debt, plus having to room with...
Well, graduate-wise, I can't relate. I'm a veteran, so I'll be able to use my GI Bill to get my college degree, essentially for free. So on the college-educated portion of your audience, I cannot relate.
Your buddies or your parents, like not being able to afford a place on your own and also trying to work full time. It sounds like Gen Z is just trying to survive.
All my friends are Gen Z are still living with their parents. I only know one person that's my friend from high school that has a family, is living off of his own and is doing okay. But the economy is so bad that his parents moved back in with him because they can't afford to live on their own anymore.
You know how like baby boomers and people who grew up during or after the Great Depression, how they like stockpiled way too much shit that they really didn't need? Will Gen Z, years from now, will that be like something that they psychologically all do because they're operating under this idea of like scarcity?
My generation blames the baby boomers a lot. I think it was the baby boomers, the 1980s generation, where they could buy a house for $20K to $40K, and now that same house is worth $1 million. And the property taxes. I notice my generation blames that generation a lot because of their laws and practices are fucking us over today. I have no real opinion on this. What I do feel is that, I wish I could buy a house with 20 to 40K with a full-time job at Walmart or something like that, but that's impossible without a mortgage. So that's the way I feel. Is it the result because of baby boomers alone? I don't know. I'm not a professional. You have to look at economist reports and talk to a economist specialist, but that's just the way I feel about it. Now, is it entirely the baby boomers' fault? Most likely not. But I know a lot of my generation feels that way.
We'll see. I'm interested to see how that is. Young grads are having a much tougher time finding jobs. Student loan payments are restarting for millions of borrowers.
The reason why young grads are having a hard time finding jobs, even me being recently out of the military, is that they want years of experience. And it's impossible to find years of experience if no one even wants to hire you, because you don't have years of experience. So how am I supposed to get that experience?
Credit card delinquency rates have risen to their highest point since before the pandemic and are highest for those 18 to 29. That's crazy, man.
I'm sorry I'm pausing the video a lot. Pandemic-wise, all my friends got fucked over pretty hard. I was in the Navy, so I was still getting paid twice a month. So in the pandemic front, I've been very blessed in terms of financial security and health security.
Man. So people can't even pay back the money they owe on regular spending. It's worth noting that the time period featured in the study does not include the June launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, which will boost the figures. It seems a lot of people who are, doing rough financially, it's some sliver of happiness you can make room for, you know what I mean? And next year's launch of GTA 6 is expected to set records for consumer spending, not just on video games, but all of entertainment.
I don't know who's going to buy GTA 6. I might buy GTA 6. But that might be the last Grand Theft Auto in my entire fucking life. That that damn game came out when I was on the 360, and it's still relevant now with its microtransactions with the shark loans. It's crazy.
A funny side note, isn't it interesting how, like, you know, if you go back in gaming history, you'd hear like Halo 2 broke records for revenue, and then MW2 broke records for revenue, Black Ops 1 broke records for revenue, Halo 3. It is kind of funny how often, like, it shows what an exponentially growing behemoth the video game industry has become. Oh yeah, so the same guy who did the previous study, he said people are still turning up to play games, but engaging more with free-to-play on devices they already have access to.
Some of my friends that are parents now only play free-to-play because they just can't afford to spend even games on sale for $5 to $10, because they're using that $5 to $10 to take care of the kids. So they only play, you know, Fortnite or Marvel Rivals, only free to play.
That makes sense. The report comes at a time of great instability across the games industry despite record profits. How does that make sense? Record profits, but yet, like, overall spending on video games is down.
Yeah. Record profits. Yeah, shut it. You know, Microsoft would say, you know what, fuck it, shut down another gaming studio.
I think they've cracked it. They've cracked the video game industry. So you hire people, then you suck their soul out, and then you lay them all off or shut down the studio. Once you get what you want from them, like why would you take care of the people? Yeah, it talks about Redfall developer Arcane Austin, Hi-Fi Rush, Tango Gameworks. Yeah,
Hi-Fi Rush was tragic.
Eye-watering 6,000 staff. Funny how Xbox always seems to show up in these conversations about all of the worst things happening in the video game industry. Like this, isn't that just a surprising coincidence? Don't you think? Yeah, I mean, if you want my word for it, like the people that I know and that I talk to online, like some of my patrons, fans, friends, it seems like most of Gen Z, the people that I interact with, they're not living lavishly. They're trying to get by, and I notice this because often I'll want to play a new or older game with some people, and you know, dude, some of my buddies are like, oh, that's $5, a dog, I can't spare that
as I explained
right
earlier.
And I'm
they're taking care of their kids.
The game for you, you know. This is something I've witnessed firsthand, at least in my friend group. Obviously, I'm an outlier because this is my job and I get paid to make videos like this. This is real, I think, and it's interesting.
It's very real. It's not an illusion, Act-Man. It's not an illusion.
We're dying, not dying, but you know, the fact that it's Gen Z and it's like 2 separate studies and 2 separate articles from the same company, and all these other big gaming outlets are covering it, and you know, putting some legitimacy on this guy. I think that's an indication that times are rough, especially for Gen Z. But if you are Gen Z, or you're not, if you're a cool millennial like me, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Like I said, let me know how many games you guys buy a year and why. If times are tough financially, you know, you can give a brief explanation if you want.
It's always tough. Prices are going up and the pay is the same.
Just to see if there's any common themes, right? Now I'm interested. I'm wondering, what is the cause of this?
Prices are only going up and the pay is the same. I'll say it one more time. Prices are only going up and the money is the fucking same. You still got that $7.50 an hour job from 2008, and milk was $5. Well, guess what? Milk is close to $10 and you still have that $7.50 job paying from 2008. I'm getting triggered, dude. Everything's getting more expensive and the money is still the fucking same.
Why on earth would you spend less money on video games? But yeah, if you like what I do here and want to support the channel, liking and subscribing is always appreciated. If you want to go...
that seems like to be the end of the video. Please watch, you know, Act-Man, or, you know, React-Man. You know what I'm trying to say. I like his content. I tend to agree with all of his opinions on the gaming industry, you know, reviews and just oversight in general. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy my insight. Act-Man, if you are watching this, I hope you like my input. For some reason, if you want to talk to nobody like me, just send me a message and we'll hop in Discord together. Thanks for watching.